Okay, welcome to the Two Bike Mike Unshaven show. We have the HB35 on the bench today, or tonight, and one of the first things that has to be done is the nut. This is definitely a plastic nut, in my opinion, and it's just gonna have to go. I'm gonna check it just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a plastic nut. And I've got both a tusk and a new bone, which are identical. I think they're both made by Tusk, except for the color. And you can't really see this one. Well, maybe you can. See, this one here is a little bit lighter colored than that one in the light. Yeah. This one's a little bit more yellowish. This one is very yellowish. More whitish. I think the new bone is a better match. So, nut, because I've still got these factory strings, and these are a unique set of strings. I've got 9. Then I've got a 12, I think. Yeah, 12. Then this one's thicker. The G string is up to a 16, which is like a 10, a set of 10s. Then there's a 26, a 35, or a 36, depending on where you measure it. So 36, and then 46. So it looks like, you know, the bottom two are like a set of from 9 to 42s, and then from here up, they're like from a set of 10s. I don't know if that was done by Harley Benton, or if it was done by somebody who got this guitar and maybe returned it. But we're going to see what we can do about fixing everything. So one of the first things is going to be, let me just touch that with a file and see what that feels like. Oh, my biggest file is a 42. I'm going to need to touch it with one of these, because this is for a 6 slot. You know, I'm not sure. It didn't file soft. Like a piece of plastic would, or an ABS. There's definitely some lacquer on it, because when I cut into it, it is more white on the inside. So they've got some lacquer over the top of it, I guess, to try to match it to the binding that they also put lacquer over the top of, to try to, you know, match it better. Okay, so the nut was cut fairly well to begin with. So I'm just going to bring it all back up to pitch again and recheck everything. And I might have to just, you know, back slot them a little bit. Often I need to maybe open the angle just a tiny little bit to reduce the pressure as the string, especially these middle two here, have to angle and go all the way over to that post down here. A lot of tension on this corner here. So I'll stand by and I'll take a look at that. So while I was looking more closely at the nut, and I'm pretty sure that it's a bone, I was doing the measurement, and it caught my eye that just back here, see where the black is? There's a long white stripe right across. That's the wood behind the nut and below, where this gap was cut a little bit too wide for the nut, and they left it like that. So that could be another B stock, or it could be standard on everybody's. I'm not sure, because this is the only one I've ever seen. But that goes again to the build quality that I was feeling when I first got this thing, that the build quality in certain areas is a little bit lacking for the money they're asking for them. Today I did go ahead and do the back of this guitar with the buffing compound and then the wax, and it came out squeaky clean with the compound, and now it's just like brand new glass on the back. It certainly got all of the grime off the back. I'll take care of the front when I remove things, and I'll do a good buffing on the top and the sides. I can feel here that it's rough compared to how smooth the back is, and the front's a little bit better. So the buffing in here is not too good. I can feel it's rough. The F-holes are finished rather well for most. There's a tiny little nick there from that screw under that pick guard, which is quite annoying. I might be able to touch that up with a dab of poly. So yeah, there's a little bit of crud inside the nut, I should say the truss rod cavity. White stuff in there. See that? They always hide that. I had the tension off the neck of this since this morning. Okay, so the nut is cut well on 5. I'm looking for the, yeah, there they are. I'm looking for this, and turns out that the A string is cut below 18 at the first fret and below 16. It's I can just lift it over the 16. If that becomes a problem for buzzing, I'll have to measure if that fret's too high, but the rest of them are all perfect. 18, 18, and 16, 16, 16 down here. So only the A. And if that becomes a problem, I'm going to bang it out, and I'm going to put in a new one so that the A is right. The rest of the work on the back is going to be, I'm going to remove the tuners so I can actually clean up the back of the headstock and buff it up as well. And then the front, we'll get a buffing. I'll do the fretboard. I'm going to check for the uneven frets. And I believe I'm going to keep all of the electrics the way they are. The switch is nice. The bridge was surprising. It's the blade bridge, but I was looking in the slots earlier, and the slots have been smoothed out. So that will become a roller, which I have available to me. Look at that. If I hold it, which is a good sign, I was able to get the screw to go in, which means all I need to do is secure that a little bit better. Okay, that's 3, 3, 3, 3.5, yeah, 3 3/4, and 4. So because of the A, I might have to go with 4 if I don't want to knock that nut out. So just let me make sure she's back up to the proper pitch. That goes in there. Remove all the sharp edges from the top of the table so I don't do any damage to to the guitar. And let's see if we can get it into playing position and get these things in the right tuning. Okay, I don't know what's going on with all these strings, but let's find one of these. Let's put a little more relief in that. Oh! I pushed the G string right out of its slot. Almost felt like it broke. It's cut right at 16, but I don't think the edges are sharp enough for the string not to pop out of the slot. It might be because they put poly in it. So I might just have to put a small little groove. Yeah, that's one I usually have to do something with the back end in order to take care of the angle. So I'll see what needs to be done with it. All right, so there's a little bit more relief. Yeah, she's still buzzing. It's buzzing way up here beyond the truss rod. It's buzzing way up there beyond the truss rod. Well, you know, that's going to force me into getting my roller bridge out and putting it on there and see if there's any major problems with this neck. Or does my roller bridge take care of some of that or all of it? We've got a loosey-goosey plug. Look. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, so I checked the depth, which is this deep from my finger, okay, right there. And the plug's only this deep. So it's about a half an inch. It's about a half an inch deeper hole than the plug is. Big hole in the middle of these. Let me see if this plug is different. Oh, it is. This plug that goes with this roller bridge is a larger diameter than the hole. Zero it out. Let's see what we've got. We've got the maximum of 12.15 millimeters on the old one. Oh, new one. And 1181 on the old one. They feel quite unsubstantial as well. I guess I'd have to try one of these, see if it'd go in the hole. I really don't want it to crack the finish if it's a little bit overly tight. So it's something I'm going to have to work on, you know, with twiddling this and twiddling that, which is going to just take a little bit of all of my time and just wasting yours if you just watch me do all that stuff. So I'll see what I can figure out for it and let you know what the results were and how I did it. So I've cleaned up the nut slots. This off color of the nut is really lacquer on it, and it was all inside the slots and it was all roughed, and the strings were kind of binding on it. So I just used my nut files to clean out those slots, make a tiny little back angle on it, and this big one here tried to put a little bit of an angle for the D string. Tried to do that here with the G string as well, but it didn't work so well. It's very tough. I might give it another shot. And right now, I wanted to show you where my, something's missing, motorcycle, yeah, here it is, where my motorcycle and guitar hobbies come together. So these two holes are due to the fact that the posts came out for the bridge like nothing. There are shims inside the other ones. There was a shim in the top one over here as well. So this is a 10 millimeter, standard 10 millimeter, and where it crosses over is that on my cruiser, which is a metric cruiser, we have 10 millimeter bolts like that. This was taken off some time ago. It has a 5 millimeter drive. So we're going to try this old trick where you screw that down in there, bottom of the hole, to put pressure to be able to get that anchor to come out. Nice and easy, like at that. See, look, it's coming right out. Nice and easy. Boom. And here's a big shim. Actually, oh, several of them in there. I'm just putting these aside with the stuff up there to save them. I do not believe I'm going to need them for my new anchors because they're a little bit larger than these in diameter by about 1 millimeter. Alright, let's try the other one. Sometimes you have things, you just don't know where they are. You just can't find stuff when you want it. Alright, that shim is out. Oh, there's another big piece here. What happened? There it is. It's in the wrong place. Another big piece here. Let's see if that's, yeah, okay, it's loose. They just stuck that in there to, whoop. It's like you use a planer and you just get a tiny little piece of wood off like that. That's just what it looks like. Oh, there's more pieces down in the bottom there, but I don't think I really have to worry too much about them. They're just kind of like sitting down there. Little bits and pieces. Oh, there's another piece in this hole. They really went to town on this. You think they would get the right size drill bits. Let me test the new one in those holes. Yeah, the new one is bigger. I'm going to go in there as well. I'm going to have to bang those in later, but I want to leave them open like this until I buff the front surface out. And then, oh, I checked the frets. Amazingly enough, I mean, it's relatively, oh, it's backbowed now. But when I had the tension on it, I had it pretty straight. And amazingly enough, I've got really two big problems here. The 8th fret and this one, which will probably be the 20th, if this is a 21 or 19, yeah, it's 19. 20 frets. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, 21. Oh, Jesus, 22 frets on this thing. Wow. Oh, and the other thing is that they're jumbo frets. The frets are nice. So I've really got, as far as I found, 2 really bad frets, which could have been one of the reasons why the old bridge, with the very poor radius on it, there's really not much of a radius to it. The roller bridge, a little bit higher, and overcame the G-string problem that was grinding out on these frets. And so once I fix those frets, I'll be even safer. And as if I recall, I don't think there was a couple of little minor things down this way. Yeah, number 4, just under the E string has a little corner. Oh, you can't see it. Just a little corner right here, which has got a little bit of a nibble on it, a rocker there. I guess there was a couple of other places too, just on corners. But nothing serious along this one. I mean, this is the best frets I've ever gotten. 2 that I really think I have to do something about. 2. It's amazing. There's a scuff on my fretboard right there. I'm not sure why that is. Somebody scratched it there. There's a little bit of a gouge. And yeah, I'm probably going to need a toothbrush to clean up along those frets because somebody put something on there. All right. The other bench. I'll be back.